Just the fact that, you know, I think what 2 players made it in the whole history of the sport says enough. I mean, it's incredible, you know, just to have this opportunity is incredible. But look, you know, it's an ultimate challenge, you know, to win against Rafa, and to achieve that, you know, I will have to play my best.
Sure, Novak is having a great results. Not only the last 12 months. Last 12 months was unbelievable results, but he's playing fantastic since a long time ago, and always is a big battle play against him and very difficult match.
You're 1 match away from winning the most French Opens ever in history. How does that make you feel?
Seriously, for me, the most important thing is Roland-Garros. Then the other things are later, but for me, what I'm thinking is try to win Roland-Garros, even if it's for the 1st, for the 5th, or for the 7th. You know, what really motivates me is that final and the title.
He has all the facts on his side, you know, and his advantage because he has won the title for 6 times and lost only once in his career. But I won on a couple of occasions last year on this surface against him. That can, you know, serve as a positive, let's say, encouraging fact for me. And it's finals, you know, so I'm sure that motivation will be there for both of us.
Bienvenue, mesdames, mesdemoiselles, messieurs, à la finale, messieurs, des 82e internationaux de France. Le premier joueur entré sur le court a remporté 10 titres du Grand Chelem, dont 6 fois ici à Roland-Garros. Il est espagnol, Rafael Nadal. Et ils sont opposés à celui qui a remporté 5 titres du Grand Chelem, dont les 3 derniers consécutivement. Il est Serbe numéro 1 mondial, Novak Djokovic.
Première manche, au service, Novak Djokovic. Ready? Play.
And this is where it all changes on the clay. It doesn't matter how aggressively you hit to safe parts of the court. The way Rafa's playing this fortnight, that's not going to get the job done. And Novak, he almost has to play with a bit more of a hard court trajectory to try to find the line and close to the line to keep Nadal under some sort of pressure.
these men are in such great shape. I think the early stage was difficult for Djokovic because of the way Nadal hits with topspin. And if you're wrong-footed under these cool conditions and you have to go in one way and suddenly you have to stop and go back the other, you can hurt yourself in a hurry for the first few games until all those muscles get warmed up. So love 30 in the opening game. Impressive start from the Spaniard. 3 break points, 3 points being played, and he's won all of them.
0-40.
Well, I thought maybe the first few games there might have been some hesitation by both of them. Again, given the outcome of this match and how important the reward for winning, that Nadal certainly very strong out of the gates in the first 3 points.
Good to see this angle. You can see that trajectory, that harder, flatter, hard court trajectory. Novak willing to take that ball on the rise, and I think that's the line of flight that is going to give Rafa some trouble.
Still 2 break points.
That's about the first short ball we've seen Nadal strike in the match. And important for Djokovic to hit and move forward. Interesting that he went back to the backhand. For me, I think it's going to be a matter for Djokovic to focus on the forehand of Nadal. He's got to open up the court on that side.
This will be a terrific game and a huge boost for Djokovic if he can get out of this. He's been down love 40 and now comes back to juice. That's the shot that Wally was talking about. Flattens it out. Incredibly, this is the 15th Djokovic-Nadal tournament final.
It appears they've both come to play. Some incredible hitting the first few minutes of the match.
Avantage, Nadal.
Another break point opportunity in the opening game. That's long. Incredible first game of this match. And it's Nadal who breaks serve early. 1-love.
Premier jeu.
Interesting, wasn't it? All the break points that Nadal had there, he played them incredibly safely. Even that last one, he was just sort of spooning the ball up high and mid-court. He relied on an error from Novak. But to get to the break points, he was smashing the ball. So it's almost as though he identified when he had the break point, I was going to refuse to miss.
Super slow-mo camera, see the height that Djokovic gets up to reach. He makes contact with the serve. Djokovic credits his doctor for calming his mind and solving some of his health issues by recommending a gluten-free diet, which has been well documented.
Au service, Rafael Nadal.
A lot fitter than he was a couple of years back. Incredible run last year. Nadal to serve with the early break.
That's Nadal's best shot right there. His forehand down the line. He just stays on the ball a lot longer. He gets that depth, but he's still got enough spin so that it bites and really kicks off the court.
Serve there also. Nadal has been amazing
30-0.
on his serve throughout the tournament. He's been broken just once, and that was in the opening round. So he's held 71 of 72 service games. You'd have to feel pretty confident going into a match after you've held a serve 65 straight times, though, wouldn't you?
Especially facing some of the players that he has come up against, who are, real clay courters in itself. Very strong returners.
40-love.
Jeu Nadal.
That one's pushed long, so a love game for Nadal. Just what he needs. 2 games to love.
Nadal mène 2-0.
Nadal here this year has been the best ever. He hasn't lost serve, and he's broken his opponent's serve more than half the time. So it's a big ask if you go by the stats for the 2 weeks for this man here.
The best shot in the game right now, Nadal's forehand line.
0-15.
He uses it sparingly as a rule, but he just executes it so well. And because he's got that lefty hook all day long, the guys are always looking to cover the backhand wing. He beats people by a big distance when he pulls the trigger on that shot.
Heavier conditions today, does that help Nadal
0-30.
or Djokovic?
Well, at the moment it's helping Nadal. I think generally the rule of thumb perhaps against an attacking, more of an attacking type, aggressive player, the heavy conditions might work against Nadal because his rate of shot disappears off the court.
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because Nadal loses that bounce off the forehand in these heavier conditions. But then he's such a good athlete that his legs start to come into it more. How do you get the ball by him? So he kind of wins regardless of the conditions here at Roland-Garros.
Plus the fact that he hits the ball so hard with so much topspin, that helps as well. 15-30.
Yeah, a lot of credit must go to him and Uncle Tony for being
15-40.
recognise that the guys, especially Djokovic, has been attacking that forehand side all last year, and his natural response was to go cross court, and that just opened the court up further for the next wave of attack into the backhand side. It's a perfect response, the forehand down the line now.
Break points now for 3-love.
Not that I think Novak will do it, but that wide serve to Nadal's backhand on the forehand court. Rafa, he doesn't cut off any angle, he just moves laterally to that ball.
That one's gone wide too, under the gun, forcing Djokovic to go for a little too much. So that's 2 service breaks and a bit of a surprise
Nadal
here.
mène 3-0.
3-love. Three-love serving.
Zero.
So it's almost as though he's identified that he's got to hit the ball a little harder and flatter to get any sort of value, and we're starting to see some errors mount up. Long, just long on quite a few occasions now, Novak, and that one just clips the tape.
Against.
Beautifully timed backhand cross court into the Nadal forehand. certainly an area if Nadal's first serve percentage is not holding. Djokovic can mount the attack when he's returning the second delivery of Nadal. Just got caught too close on this forehand. See the reaction by the follow through. He's just trying to provide himself a little extra room, make those minor adjustments at the last minute. Still made the error.
Unforced errors there, Djokovic, 6 of them. And it's game point for a 4-love lead.
Whoever's counting the stats, I think, is pretty generous to Rafa. I would have called that missed backhand at 30-love in this game an unforced error. That's an unforced error. So I guess it is subjective as to what constitutes an unforced error.
Wide forehand, it seems from Nadal. He misses this one by meters, a miss-hit.
Avantage, Djokovic.
Opportunity now for Djokovic.
Seemed to shoot through, though. There's that trajectory again of Djokovic is flatter, harder.
Game point, break point now.
Djokovic.
Called wide, so Djokovic is on the board, much to the right of this crowd. They came here with all sorts of expectations with this match today. Finally, Djokovic on the board, 3-1 Nadal.
Nadal mène 3-1.
Comes a different set now, just the one service break.
$15-0. Flat, premier service.
A lot of credit for Djokovic attempting a high backhand volley drop.
32-0.
Takes great control and feel. Geez, that nearly came back around as well. Trying to curl a forehand down the line, Nadal.
It's almost as though Rafa's lost concentration. Couldn't believe he was up 3-0. And since that moment, he hasn't been the same player. That's Rafa's girlfriend to the right of screen, his sister's centre screen.
Didn't miss by much. Djokovic having a double look. It's turned into a bit of a vogue return from the players, trying to return straight down the middle of the court. All the players are still trying to recover from hitting the serve to the penetrating middle. Down the centre third of the court can often pick up an error.
40-30.
Djokovic.
Miss hit round the frame from Nadal. Some 3-love. He's miscued a few. It's 3-2 now. Nadal still with a service.
Nadal mène 3-2.
See, folks, there's a few umbrellas there. They're coming down. It's very fine sprinkle at the moment, but at this stage, the players are able to continue. Not a problem. It's when the lines get wet and slippery. The court itself is in fine shape. Stefan Franzen, the referee there. Up 15, the last game that Nadal lost on serve was the first time his serve had been broken in 67 attempts. He won 66 in a row. The only service game he lost in the entire tournament was early in the opening round.
Gaza.
see the accuracy again from Djokovic. A couple of balls deep, gave him the short reply to control the court, and then he just spreads it from one wing to the next. And the thing that I love about Djokovic's ground shots is he can just change the direction at will. He doesn't need to play to any sort of a pattern. He just basically hits it where his opponent is not.
$15.30.
Honda.
And this is what we saw the first three games, a proactive Nadal. Looking to do things as opposed to just using his legs and rolling the ball back up the middle of the court.
Break point, game point for a 4-2 lead. Has so much confidence in that shot, doesn't he? He just doesn't hold back at all.
But how do you defend that? Look, there's the backhand. That's just inside the line, and this may even be on the line. I mean, that's a massive court to cover.
Juice. Depth again during that rally, and just the last one, a fraction long. Damien Dunois out of the chair, check it.
The foot on the accelerator at that point, Nadal. The first 4 points really a little passive, started with the double fault, and it's only been the body forehand serve on this side of the court that's really got him out of trouble. He was headed in that same direction.
And that sort of default setting that Nadal has, just to hook it up high and heavy, doesn't bother Novak at all. He just steps in, clubs another backhand, and he's straight back on the front foot.
That's the depth that you were talking about. Both those rallies very close to the baseline. One before that he just missed, but he'd had during the rally a couple very close, so it's juice once more. I like that
Avantage,
pattern, that
Nadal.
one down to the forehand, because Nadal likes to fall over to the backhand side. Missed that one barely. Forehand unforced errors there. Djokovic 7, Nadal 3.
That's the shot Djokovic wants to avoid missing, because he sets the point up and he knows that Nadal is coming back cross-court off that forehand predominantly. It's a bit more of the attack, the initial shot, the first blow into that forehand side, and it just falls a little short. And the difference that Nadal has tried to change in the 2 victories that he's picked up over Djokovic, Monte Carlo and Rome, is that he wasn't surrendering too much ground behind the baseline. He's done a good job at the start of the match. At the last couple of games, we've seen a bit more of the retreat from Nadal.
Fred, you asked the question just a little while ago, does the heavy conditions hurt or help Nadal? Well, you have to say he's not getting that pop off the forehand. He's not getting the ball up above Novak's shoulder in these rallies. Novak's just starting to lean on everything and the pressure's building.
And that double fault brings up a break point for Djokovic to break the Nadal serve twice in a row. Big change.
Djokovic.
So a great effort from Djokovic. Mum and Dad are pretty happy about that comeback. He looked as though he was out of it, nearly down 4-love. And he's just weathered the storm, and now is controlling the match. 3-all.
Shades of the second set against Roger Federer.
A bit of a worried camp there, you could say.
Merci. Les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
There it is again, Nadal deep in the court. Ball not even getting to shoulder height for Djokovic. Certainly got his eye in now, hitting it beautifully.
Interesting there, Nadal pushing himself closer to the baseline. After he hit that final forehand, he hung onto the baseline. You can see he just moves a couple of steps forward. He picks up the error, but even if that ball had come back, he would have been in a much more offensive position.
fighting fire with fire. Rafa finds a little depth of his own, and as you suggested, Mark, about half the distance behind the baseline that he has been for the previous 3 games.
S'il vous plaît.
Djokovic just picking on Nadal's backhand.
30.
There was one of these backhands. That was the last one that he missed, but he just moved out wide to that backhand laterally. There it is there. That is a tremendous pickup by Nadal. This is a huge game for Djokovic. To be able to hold here and continue the momentum for successive games. He doesn't want to lose the momentum that he's just grabbed on his side of the court.
7th game of the opening set. Break point. Well, he'd be very annoyed with that off a second serve.
40.
An error, and a simple error, deuce.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Though, out of respect for what Djokovic has been throwing at him, he wants to get on the front foot from the return on, and I guess I'd like to see him be that aggressive and explore the court. We'll just have to accept that he may make a few more errors than usual. Seventh game, last game with these balls. Heavy conditions, we've had light rain falling. And this is what happens. You've just got to respect the net.
Jeu de la.
Well, that was very much unexpected there.
Changement de ramasseur, s'il vous plaît.
And a break point, and he comes up with a double fault that gives the break now to Nadal.
Nadal, 4-3,
first set. And Nadal out there first for a change. He's going over there, and Djokovic changing his racket. But interesting, he's the number 2 seed here, so now Uncle Tony and his camper on the other side of the court that they've been all throughout the championships. So it goes on the seed, so Djokovic's camp are where they've been all throughout the championships when he's played on court Philippe Chatrier, but not so with Uncle Tony and Nadal's grip. They're on the other side, so a little bit of a change. Nadal now 4-3. And new balls.
New balls helping Djokovic pull that return off.
Sort of apparent, isn't it? Whoever is going for it is coming out on top. Whoever the aggressor in the point, they are winning the majority of them.
Well, before this match started, boys, you would never have thought that after 7 games being played, that we'd have had 5 service breaks.
Saw this against Federer with Djokovic. Same style of match, most unusual. And you spoke about the fact that Nadal had dropped 1 service game up until this point. Well, you always had the feeling that he was going to drop his serve on a couple of occasions, but you wouldn't have thought in 1 set.
Cardigans. Cardigans.
Oh no, so it's now 40-15 for a 5-3 lead. Wide once more from Djokovic. So Nadal now has stopped the flow of games from Djokovic and is
Nadal mène 5
now
jeux à
leading
3.
5 games to 3, and he'll go and get another racket. And see, looks as though he's carrying about 6 or 7 rackets in that racket bag these days. The players change after. Some of them before the ball change, some of them as the new balls come out, and it's Nadal the game after. So he's leading 5-3 now, opening set.
we've seen that today from Djokovic. He's used it exceptionally well in the tournament thus far.
15-0.
But just perhaps hasn't been able to construct the points to set himself up to play this shot and execute it.
This was played perfectly. 15-love.
Smart. Takes a lot of composure chasing this one down. Perhaps aware that Nadal is just going to be steaming into net. And he was committed forward, perhaps looking for a bit of a roller. Djokovic rolls it, of course, but it's over the head of Nadal.
I like that play, though, from Rafa. Being aggressive, getting on the front foot, particularly in a returning game. Getting a little bit more advantage now with the new balls, Nadal. Just a bit more pop off the court. If you don't get right behind it, it's tough to control.
Well, that was pretty much a nothing serve. Short. I think a bit of a surprise for Nadal.
La premier service.
Djokovic. From Djokovic, so he holds serve on this occasion.
5-4.
Nadal, still with a break, will serve for the opening set.
Reprise.
Nadal sprinting out there. Always ready to go. Go through the routines. The routines are getting longer. He brushes the line and then goes ear, nose, ear, and then back again before he starts. There it is. Here we go. Djokovic has been reading the serve well throughout the event, and it's important for Nadal here in this game to get some first serves in, if at all possible. That's won the first point, and that's a big one.
Gets back to that question that you asked, Fred. Does the heavy conditions hurt Rafa? Well, since he's got the new balls, all of a sudden he's closer to the baseline. His forehand is pushing Djokovic back. So there's definitely something very important about the effect of the topspin off this court for Rafa's forehand. There's no doubt about that. The first 7 games, as the ball started to get old, he just couldn't get the ball up above Djokovic's shoulder.
Return that Mark Woodford has alluded to is becoming a favourite shot from the players now. Straight back down, and as said Djokovic, I think the best returner in our sport. That one was back to Nadal's feet before he had time to even move. 30-15.
Forehand down the line again by Nadal. This is the response that he's had to make playing against the likes of Djokovic this year. It just opens up the court. As great as what Djokovic can defend himself and move, retrieve the ball back. Can't get to the final one.
Set points now, 2 of them for Nadal.
Nadal.
Very, very quickly hit his favourite off forehand and wins the opening set in just under an hour. 6 games to 4.
6-4. Installez-vous rapidement, s'il vous plaît. Deuxième manche. Au service, Djokovic.
The first 20 minutes here, the first 4 games here will tell us a lot.
I think though a lot of the errors that Djokovic have made, they haven't been in general rally play. It's been when he's been trying to pull the trigger. He's just sailed a few long and clipped the tape on a couple of times, trying to force the issue. So you get the feeling if he just starts to execute 5 or 10% better, he's going to get some reward. And for Rafa, it's about not going into his shell and playing. Heavily and just relying on his legs. He has to explore the court, as we saw in the last couple of points of that first set.
15.
Well, what an effort there from Nadal. He was out of that point twice.
Not enough done with that shot by Djokovic. He just poked at it, hoping that Rafa wouldn't recover. But, when does he not chase shots like
that's
this?
what I think. Nadal poked at it just to make him run, keep him going, wear him out a little bit, because you knew he was going to
playing with him.
Knew he was going to chase it down. 30-15.
Do you think that point is almost a result of having lost the first set? Almost a bit of frustration there. He really just tried to clobber that when he wasn't in a great position. Annoyed, I think, Djokovic, that first set slipped by after he'd done all that hard work to get back to 3-all.
I think you also realised that Nadal was in that corner too, had to hit it, put a bit more on it. 30-all.
There it is again, just errors in execution. He's got the ball he wants, basically. It sails long.
Break point opportunity now for the Spaniard early in the second set. Nadal had to have another look there. That was an unbelievable stretch from Djokovic to save that point.
I cannot believe he made that. Cross court, look where he is. It's behind him virtually. How does he... And he's deep in the court and he found an angle that landed in well inside the service box. Rafa's dad on the left of screen there. Don't think he could believe that either. Break point, he comes up with that.
21 shot rally and it's juice.
Avantage, Nadal.
Well, how about that? Two double faults, and both of them came at very, very critical stages. Both of them on break points. So that now is Nadal with the early break in set number 2, leading 1-0.
Never seen Novak do that. Twice on break points he served double faults.
We haven't seen it for a while. Perhaps with the older action from Djokovic, we did see a lot of double faults.
Have a look there at the first serve percentage. And both players, obviously Novak, that is something that he needs to improve upon. He's winning a reasonable amount of points, obviously, when he gets it in, but you've got to be up around that 60% mark, as Rafa was. So you'd have to say, statistically, it's the serve that's hurting Novak.
Yeah, well, it's he's winning 1 in 3 on the second serve, and that's not going to get it done against Nadal. Just shows you that, well, today it's Nadal that's taken control of the second serve on the returns. A lot of work now for Djokovic.
Good signs for Nadal, because he played that first point inside the baseline, a very aggressive court position. And that was something that we watched with the match between Federer and Djokovic. When Federer got the lead at the initial breaks of serve, he never tried to play aggressively and move inside the court or head towards the net. He made a number of unforced errors and really coughed up the service break immediately.
Quite often when Rafa gets ahead on clay, then he just sort of strangles the life out of his opponent. He just uses his legs and his tenacity to kind of get himself to victory. But I think when Djokovic jumped straight back and got to that 3-3 situation, I think Rafa was thinking, hang on a minute, I've got to win this. I've got to win my share of points. And he's certainly played more aggressively since that 3-3 situation.
Again, he served well, though, on the big points, particularly towards the end of that first set. And now
there's 197 Ks fired. That's big for Nadal.
We saw him play Almagro, and he served predominantly out wide to the single hand of Almagro. To David Ferrer, he served into the body a lot. Against Novak, it's been quite a mix. No real patterns emerging.
As soon as you give him credit, that one there, commentators cursed. That one was way long, that second serve. 40-30.
Along with the rallies that are being extended, the better off that Nadal is doing. Usually the trend that he sets in play.
Premier service.
The 2 points that he's lost, a double fault. He did go for the second serve. There was no tentativeness behind the second delivery. And that forehand almost the same. He really tried to accelerate through.
Brilliantly played. That's on 2 occasions in this match where Nadal's been coming forward and looking in the winning position.
Avantage Djokovic.
For me, that's homework. That the Djokovic camp have watched a number of matches of Nadal on clay and figured that he's going to be steaming into net on an approach shot.
Break point now for Djokovic.
That hurts though, doesn't it? You get to a break point like that and the serve is not really beating you by pace. It's just an excellent position.
So he's come up with a good serve at the best, right at the right time, in trouble.
Avantage Nadal.
Last time in the outcourt was only 171k. That one down the middle, just at 174. But in a tough position. Look how high it gets.
Great balance and good control of the racket head from Djokovic. I mean, played like somebody that has spent a lot of time at the net, which he has not. But this is an interesting game, isn't it? Because at 40-15, Rafa tries to win a couple of points. Big second serve, smokes a forehand wide. He's back to deuce. Then he gets game point. He plays safely. Invites Djokovic into the net. He's very competent there, obviously. So you walk that fine line, don't you? You've got to be aggressive, but then you've got to execute at the same time. Playing safely doesn't get the job done.
Gee, that's done some damage. The two-hander of Nadal cross-court.
Avantage Nadal.
Not only does it have some pace, it's just moving Djokovic outside the court, making it tough for him to get his racket around the outside.
Signs of frustration there from Djokovic, talking to his camp up there. Game point now Nadal to consolidate the break.
Net. Premier service. Nadal.
He's in the right spot, and Nadal's dad pretty happy with that one as he bounced it into the expensive seats, and it's 2-love now in the second set.
I like that though, Mark. You know, he came in on one point, he got lobbed, but he didn't hesitate when he hit a great backhand to move forward. He hit the topspin volley, and now once again he's trying to win points. I think it's a good sign for Nadal. I don't think he can go into his shell at all in this match.
$15-0. Net, premier service.
Movement by Djokovic there, important. Getting up to the flight of the ball, the top of the bounce, able to get some lean on it, down the line, wins the point cleanly.
Pretty casual overhead from Djokovic there. Nadal's going to chase everything down. 30-15.
Well, the execution on the last volley, not terrific at all. But in theory, I like the approach shot. So many of the players, when they're trying to be attacking and aggressive towards Nadal, you don't always have to go within inches of the baseline. You can hit the shorter approach shot.
Definitely when he's at his best, Nadal. Today, when he's tried to make something happen. The previous forehand, he just cooked long. But there's that attitude again. When he wants to make something happen, it's almost like he's using his athleticism proactively, not reacting from deep in the court to what Djokovic is throwing at him. We know he can scramble, but nice to see him take those quick steps up into the court.
Juice again.
Avantage, Djokovic.
Penetrating two-hander cross-court by Djokovic. Nadal's was perfect length. Landed on the baseline, just wide of the sideline.
Djokovic.
Well, a good game for Djokovic there, under the gun. And it's 2-1 Nadal.
Nadal mène
Still
2
with a
jeux 1.
service break.
Prenez place rapidement, s'il vous plaît. Les joueurs sont prêts, merci. Net. Second service. Quinze 0. Quinze.
Gee, that's good defensively from Djokovic. The slice that he guided up the line, and the next ball he tracked down with his forehand. I mean, just a real determination to make those shots defensively, and then great imagination too when he's in trouble.
Once again, though, as soon as any opponent chips a backhand, Nadal quickly dances around. It's almost like he just wants you to, gives that impression that it's not going to be good enough for him. He always runs around, hits another forehand.
Out of nowhere, great points now for Djokovic.
It's too good, isn't it? I mean, they're two perfect shots. It's just the quality of
15
this
40.
man's defense, the last 2 points.
I thought it was a pretty good point by Nadal, though.
Great point, yeah. Great point. No, he couldn't have done any better, surely. But that's just the quality and the athleticism of Djokovic.
Great points now for 2-all.
Net. Premier service. Djokovic.
Played on the third occasion. He never even panicked. He knew that was there all the time. Nadal kept coming forward. Djokovic over the top, break serve. It's 2-all.
Heavy forehand. Not a lot of angle to work with. Djokovic just controlling that.
That game, though, we watched the winners, but it was all about defence. It was all about defence there from Novak Djokovic.
Stefan Franzen there, the referee, checking in with the Weather Bureau. The umbrellas are up, but it's just a sprinkle. 2-all.
Djokovic.
That's the ominous look at the moment of the clouds. Change balls here, the first 7 and then every 9. They use the two games for the hit up, as we the replay of that one, and they've got 2 more games to go with this set of balls, and it's been Nadal has struggled when they've played the last 3 or 4 games with the balls, and then he takes over when they get the new balls. So it'll be interesting to see the next change, what happens. 2-all, 15-all. Rackets, he might have cracked that one.
Well, it's frustrating for him because he's, again, worked his way back into this set, having been down 2-love. And it's just the physical toll, mental toll as well. Just like the first set when he was down 3-love, worked extremely hard to get back to 3-all and drop serve. The door's open again for a break of serve by Nadal, 15-30. That's a bonus. There's a quick turn behind that first delivery. Win rate of Djokovic just hovering around 55%.
Djokovic. So it is Djokovic for the first time in this set. Hits the front. He leads 3 games to 2. They're on serve.
Djokovic mène 3 jeux à 2.
Just discussing in the break the fact that with the older balls, Rafa just can't get it up above shoulder height for Djokovic. So I guess there's ways of taking it out of the strike zone of your opponent. In his previous service game, Rafa tried to hit around Novak. Novak was too quick for that. And as a rule, he's very good at getting the ball to bounce up above shoulder height of his opponents, where they just can't really control it as well as they would like. Fabrice Santoro in the screen. And Djokovic at the moment is really controlling proceedings.
It was the last game with these balls, and Nadal's got a whole serve here. I think they're going to call this one good. They'll replay the point.
3 services. Quinze 0.
Well, interesting that they'll check the mark here, but Djokovic stopped playing. Nadal made the ball anyway. I think it was a late call.
Played the ball and hit the winner.
The call came well after the hit.
And Rafa, he has every right to expect that he receives that point.
So he did call it, in fact. The call was made after the point had been played. So.
That's a must. Anytime you see Nadal hit that single-handed backhand, he usually floats it up the middle of the court, or at least down the line. And if you're fast enough, you've got the wheels like Djokovic, you can get to an easier volley. That's part of the puzzle as well, is how do you get Nadal to continually play a single-handed backhand while he's on the stretch.
Nadal continues to find a good serve when needed. 40-15. That one right off the line, no question with Djokovic. That one hit the line and just stayed very low. It's 3-all
Changement de
now.
ramasseur, s'il vous plaît.
Then a new balls.
3 jeux partout.
Now we'll go for another racket. Really where things changed around in the first set, wasn't it? 3-all.
0-15.
It's interesting with Rafa's returns though, because he doesn't present a very flat racket face to the ball on that forehand. It's very much low to high in the swing path. He is dropping a lot of returns short at the moment. Maybe the new balls will give him some help getting that ball deeper in the court.
Gaza.
He's just not doing a good job at the moment, Nadal, of getting on top early in the rally. The first 2 balls of that rally were once again inside the service box. It's almost like he's got to invest a little more early in the rally to try to get on top.
30-15.
Better return there. There's the depth that you're talking about.
That's deep.
30-40.
Again with the new balls, that one just flew a little long. So an opportunity now for Nadal. Ten break points, he's converted 4. Big one here. of the court, and again, arms go up in the air, and it is Nadal who breaks in the second set at 3-all to lead 4-3.
Merci. Les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
Crowd is still booing because they're replaying that act of frustration by Djokovic on the giant screen.
Premier service.
Did he get a warning then, Djokovic? I don't think so.
Or maybe the umpire just leant down and had a quiet word with him.
It's more out of frustration. They've done away with that automatic stuff, I think, which is a smart move. There wasn't anything carried out against Nadal. It's just absolute frustration in losing his serve.
Premier service.
I like to see that. We saw one big off forehand, and that ended up giving him game point in the previous game. But Rafa played very cautiously. It was really the Novak errors that got him the break. And if we go back to the first set, how did Nadal prevail? He won it. He didn't wait for Djokovic to give it to him. He stepped up and won it.
Well, he's getting a bit more zip again, and it was the first serve right on the line that set that point up.
Premier service.
Backs it up again.
How about that footwork, though?
Footwork and flattening it out, trying to remain aggressive.
30-0.
There's nobody else in the game that could have turned that into a forehand, that final shot. He just practices it. He's so determined on the practice court to turn that sort of a shot into the forehand. And that first step was so explosive. And what an important point it was for him too. Rain just getting a little heavier now.
$40-0.
Serve again, set it up. Gets a little bit more zip. That's two serves in that game on the line. And now Nadal extends that lead to 5-3 and 1 set to love. Referee is now coming on court, Stefan Franzen, and it looks as though play is going to be suspended momentarily. 5-3. There's no sign of the maintenance crew yet though, so they can't be expecting this to be a heavy downpour or for very long, because normally the maintenance folks are out there in a flash to cover the courts.
Mesdames et messieurs, le match est suspendu. Au service, Novak Djokovic.
And you think for Rafa here, obviously, if he can just get it together for a couple of points at the start of this game, I mean, the pressure just becomes enormous for Novak. So it's a difficult one. You don't want to make mistakes, but as he did in the first set, he stepped up and he won it. Can he find that sort of an attitude here after a rain delay?
And huge pressure at both ends. Nadal figures if he can get 2 sets to love lead here, he's got a lot of things going for him. The pressure of holding serve next game or even winning this one. Becomes absolutely enormous, and then Djokovic, he's got a mindset as if he loses this, he's got to come back from 2 sets to love down.
Well, each mistake that Djokovic makes now in this particular game, it's not just that 1 point that moves Nadal closer to that 2 sets to love lead.
A little bit of frustration there. That shot was attempted, but it really was a difficult one to play, and he hits it long. So set points now for Nadal. Anticipated that one with 2 terrific serves from Djokovic. Nadal sitting on that one, brilliant. 2 sets to love, he leads.
6-3. Nadal mène 2 manches à 0.
That was brilliant, Fred. Absolutely brilliant, because Novak had just virtually hit the line with a couple of big first serves. And that is the reaction there from Rafa. And just have a look how his head stays absolutely still on impact. And once again, have a look at his court position. And he was on his way looking for the next ball. That's an extraordinary shot to close out that set, because that, obviously, that 2 sets love lead now is massive.
That set, Nadal served better on the big points. He was rewarded 2 sets. He serves first in set 3.
Just looking back on Novak in this tournament, he was down 4 match points against Thomas, and he just came up with these incredible points, and he's been down match points twice against Roger Federer and has come up with some sensational points. And that backhand from Nadal, I mean, he just sort of out Novak right there. He just came up with a sheer piece of brilliance on a huge point.
That'll be enough to really get you a little frustrated. 2 sets to love down. He's come back from 2 sets to love down 3 times in his career. Once here this week.
I think the same thing applies, though. Even though he's up 2 sets to love, Rafa, against Almagro when he was up 2 sets to love, he just started to hit every ball in the court. Not necessarily that accurately, he's just kind of going to grind Almagro down, but I don't think he should change a thing if he can possibly keep it up. He's got to win his fair share of points, Rafa, and he's been doing a pretty good job of that on his serve. I think if he dips slightly, I think Novak will be right there to take advantage.
Right now for his sake. If there's any thought he's got to get that lead rather than wait till the middle part or the end of this particular set. Situation where Nadal is down the game on that second court, going into the right hip of Djokovic, the body forehand. The ball just sits there, positions himself well. See if Rafa goes for the body forehand.
Great point. First game, third set. Keep coming back at you.
Yeah, that's that backhand cross court by Nadal that keeps him in the point. And after Djokovic retrieved that forehand, Nadal takes the ball early and finds himself into net. Not something that we always see on the clay. On hard courts, yes. Grass.
Juice.
Misses that return. Just trying to win the point a little sooner because of the previous point where he was trying to find the open court. Nadal was retrieving everything.
Nadal dodges a huge bullet there and played some terrific tennis in doing so, and leads 1-love now in the third set.
It's long, those last two shots, but by the barest of margins, and it just highlights to me how Rafa really has to stay in this aggressive mode, because if Novak just improves the execution ever so slightly, he'll be there to take advantage. And the big problem for Novak is that first serve percentage. Only 50% of first serves going in. He's only winning 47%, I should say, of those points. So that is really something that he has to identify as a problem and do something about. And Rafa there once again is on the right side of the ledger when it comes to winners as opposed to unforced errors. But took his chances again at the end of that second set, Rafa. He made it happen. He won it.
Well, he's the owner of 35 clay court titles. Nadal puts him in third place in the list for most clay court titles in the Open era. Boys ahead of him, Guillermo Vilas, 45, and Thomas Muster with 40. Both those fellows for a couple of seasons on European clay were pretty much unbeatable as well.
There's that court position you're talking about from Rafa. He didn't retreat.
A lot closer to the baseline, and Djokovic has got to be very careful here. Early break of serve just starts to look a little insurmountable.
Once again, the error by the barest of margins. So today, the execution for Djokovic just not quite there. But he has lived for a long time with this sort of hitting, and over the last 16 months, it's all gone in. Today, slightly slower court against the tenacity of Nadal. Maybe just striving for that little bit extra.
Even though Djokovic not having any misses, but trying to pull the trigger on that from too deep in the court. He wasn't going to win the point with the forehand. He just needs to really play it for position and move himself back to the court, stay alive in the point.
But once again, Rafa, normally he runs across and he hooks that line across court, that little forehand cross court, but held his ground and took a chance up the line.
Love 40.
And that was very close.
That was nearly over, wasn't it? And Nadal thought he'd made it. Look at where he keeps his head though when he makes it, he proves those. And then one that he hit for the winner, well, I said the head stays still, but he watches that ball and then looks up and sees where it's gone.
On les services.
right now. Very aggressive point there. As he goes to a 2-love lead, break serve.
Nadal mène 2-0.
Not only is he going for 7 tournaments here, 7 wins here in Nadal. Unbelievable. He's the first player in the Open era to win 7 tournaments, at least 7 times, 2 major tournaments, 1 Monte Carlo. He's won 8 times. And down in Spain in Barcelona, he's won that title 7 times. It's quite an incredible run for him. But this is the most important one, to beat Borg's record here.
An impressive point, that previous point that Rafa converted on. We see here he's forced to play from deep in the court. Nearly comes up with it, but it's all very well for us to say he's got to step up and be aggressive, but he has executed that so well on the big points, Rafa. And it doesn't come naturally to him on clay. It's not how he's won his 6 titles here, necessarily.
Djokovic has got to lay it all on the line here. His first 2 sets, he was down early. He's come back. And he's got nothing to lose now. Yes, has to go for broke. Hope that he makes a few. Love 30.
Did that very well against Federer. He was able to get himself back into the match, and it casts a lot of doubt, even on someone as great as Roger Federer. He threw in his bunch of unforced errors, but you really wonder whether Rafa is just going to cough up too many of those unforced errors. He hasn't done it for the whole tournament. And he has the benefit of a 2-sets-to-love lead today.
We're seeing Rafa in isolation, but Novak, in the previous volley, he was wrong-footed. He had to turn, lunge, and just guide that backhand volley into the right part of the court.
Once again, an opportunity to get back in to a set early after losing the break. 15-40 now. Had to be on the line to win it. He had a lot of open court. He took the bounce, so he breaks back. It's 2-1 now, Nadal.
It's been the order of the last week, really, hasn't it? These umbrellas coming and going throughout the course of matches. Unfortunately, the rain hasn't been too heavy today. It's still sprinkling ever so lightly here, and the conditions must be so heavy. This court has picked up a fair bit of moisture now, as have the balls.
Just haven't seen him up and net often enough today. Djokovic, perhaps just losing the weight of shot because of the court, the heavier conditions. You haven't seen that backhand drop shot that he's played so superbly through the tournament, but of course the ball jumps up around shoulder height. Makes it very difficult to execute it from there. See a few more service breaks before the end of this set.
Not 30.
0-30.
People will do to Rafa on the clay, but he stands so deep, you would think that the swinging serve out wide on that side is going to give you plenty of time to play the volley, and that was the case there. So that's good presence of mind from Djokovic, and he has been good when he's come forward.
Something different with a serve and volley. Good serve. Needs them all right now.
Hold.
There's definitely only one player on the tour down 2 sets to love and a break against Rafael who still think they could win, and that's Nadal. I can't see anyone else on the tour at this situation would give themselves a chance, but I guarantee you in his mind he thinks he can turn this around.
And on a hard court, a different surface other than the clay, that backhand might be just sitting in his wheelhouse. It's that extra bounce makes it a lot more difficult for him to control it.
Djokovic.
It's harder to do, isn't it? Off the no-pace ball, to flatten that no-pace ball out is not easy.
Just incredible retrieving ability to open. Nadal keeps him in the point on 2 or 3 occasions in this rally. juice.
Djokovic.
Again, because of the heavier conditions, that serve wide for Djokovic, which usually does pick him up some free points along the way, and just allows Nadal to get another racket onto it. One of the first that he's missed.
Djokovic keeps himself in the hunt. It's 2-all. Third set.
Deuxième partie.
He had to work very hard just to get back on level pegging, but he's got to show Nadal that he still does have that belief. Maybe in an effort for Nadal, if he gets a little nervous, the fact that he's closing in on that record 7th title.
Good return once more. Djokovic reads the serve, smacks it straight back down the middle of the court.
If you remember, these are the types of conditions that a couple of years ago that Soderling took out Nadal. He was able to just hold his ground and just power through the court, very flat off of both sides.
Does get back into this. It's only the last 6 weeks or a month that Nadal's been able to figure out Djokovic. He beat him 7 times in a row, and that is going to come back and have Nadal think about that as this match gets closer, if Djokovic can win this 3rd set.
Well, there was a point there where Rafa actually did step it up and he did try to be aggressive, but now it is just so heavy that he got no value off the court that he normally does. Novak easily getting behind that forehand down the line. Telling little momentum shift here at the start of the 3rd. So there's a shot that normally Rafa gets so much value out of, and Novak was there with time to spare. So, as strange as it may seem, the slower the court gets, maybe playing into Novak's hands.
Break point here to go to a 3-2 lead. And we led 3-2 though in the 2nd set. Jean Gassachon, who's the president of the French Federation, hasn't missed a match all week, all 2 weeks. He was there in plenty of time.
Perhaps got there with too much time. Maybe on top of the ball. Obviously trying to clear the lower part of the net. Bit of a let-off for Rafa.
There it is, the turnaround in set number 3. Djokovic takes the lead with a service break.
Djokovic mène 3-2.
Rafa there at the end change was having a discussion with the umpire. He was talking about the conditions, talking about it being too heavy. And I think that's just a real indication that he feels a little bit powerless right at the minute to hit through Novak. Very telling, given that he's up 2 sets to love. Does not feel in control.
Rain delay. He's got in with the camp mark, and he's been told he's got to pick it up a bit, go for a little bit extra, because he is really hammering the ball a lot harder than he did in the first 2 sets.
Well, maybe just the relaxation of being down 2 sets to love.
Yeah.
Maybe that just the slightest thought of, well, my only way to get around this now is to really step it up.
And where's the errors gone? They've just disappeared. He's just cleaning the line now, Novak.
30-0. S'il vous plaît.
For Rafa, the way that he plays a lot of the Spanish, when they get a little tight, they want to try and focus on a weaker area, but he looks up the other end, and which side does he try and go to when he's playing Djokovic? Against Federer, he has the out by going to the single-handed backhand. Taught as well to hit to the open court, that when he hits to the open court at the moment, again, those conditions are just too heavy. The ball kids are rolling the ball up and down the court, so that the ball is accumulating a lot of clay, a lot of the wetness in the air.
40-15. That'll do it. That wide. Djokovic. 4 games to 2. 2.5 hours of play.
And that's interesting too, because Djokovic has just reeled off 4 games in a row, and it's taken nothing out of him. Normally, to win 4 games against Rafa on clay, it's a real physical effort, but Novak is just controlling things so well here. I didn't see this coming. 2-love Nadal here in the 3rd. You really thought that he might have broken the back of this match, but Djokovic has just elevated his play. new balls. That might give Nadal a lift that he needs.
Well, that last forehand by Nadal certainly kicked like a mule.
Errors come with the new balls.
Yeah, he's got to keep going for them though, hasn't he? That's the way. He's got 4 games on the trot. Aggressive. You're going to make a couple of errors if you don't quite get to the bounce of the ball.
Rain just getting that a little bit heavier again.
Patient shot.
It's hard to imagine, really, isn't it, that with new balls, that he's yearning for the fresher balls. Nadal gets a better reward for his shots. Would have expected the absolute grinder, defender, would want the heavy balls. Slow conditions, but it's really working against him. Djokovic with that backhand volley just couldn't get enough angle. This one here, just down the centre third of the court.
Novak, he's all over him at the moment, just all over him. I mean, Rafa's just fighting incredibly hard here to keep him honest by holding his serve here.
40-30.
And Rafa, of course, he's not the player that can hit a serve at 210 or 215 necessarily and just get a free point and a little bit of breathing space. And at the moment, Novak he's actually moved his returning position a little bit to deal with the cutting, swinging serve into his forehand. Every now and then he'll just reposition himself. Just staying one step ahead of Nadal in this third set.
Rafa trying to inflict defeat or some hurt damage on Djokovic, trying to loft that forehand up high. Just sitting nicely for Djokovic.
Well, he had to go in at one stage and got caught. He was lucky to get the ball into play. So break point now for a 5-2 lead.
I'd have to say too that behind the baseline area where the players do most of their running, it's getting a little slippery. A couple of times they've both stumbled and had to regather their balance.
And if Nadal drops serve here, wouldn't be surprised if he's asking for the referee to come on the court.
The service break, and there's the belief with Djokovic. 5 games to 2. That's 2 service breaks in the 3rd set.
Djokovic mène 5-2.
Just having a look at some of the stats as well. Interesting that the forced errors that are now coming from Djokovic. He is creating a lot of the play in this 3rd set, probably from a 2-love deficit. All the forced errors have been thrown up to one end of Nadal's.
Absolutely, and we're talking about execution. Novak in the first 2 sets, he just kept missing here and there. He kept missing. He'd have a good patch of play, and then he'd just miss. But those errors have gone. And you spoke, Mark, about the fact that he had that situation where he really focused on the French Open. His schedule, everything was geared towards it. Maybe he put so much pressure on himself. Then the moment he was down 2 sets to love and a break, he thought, you know what? I'm out of here. I've got to have a swing. And it's all fallen into place.
Well, he's certainly having a swing. He's controlling everything here, and the pace of shot is much more than it was in the first 2 sets. As you mentioned, well, 2 sets to love and a breakdown in the 3rd. Anybody else, I think they'll no chance here. Djokovic stood his ground, blocked the volley, and it's set points.
But Fred, that was a crack out of a net.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He's a little shell-shocked at the moment, Nadal. Has he ever lost 6 games in a row and played before?
Nadal loses the first set that he's lost in the championship here, and he leads it 2 sets to 1.
Nadal. Quatrième Nadal. S'il vous plaît.
Fourth set.
It's like a laser coming off his racket at the moment. Hard, flat, and inches from the line. So this wasn't a bad first serve, and that's the reply. 181 kilometres an hour from Nadal, and that's what he gets back. He's playing computer tennis, Djokovic.
Backhand like that for a period of tennis.
For the last 2 hours, just thrashing the ball away, and just unbelievable execution from both ends of the court. That rally, that has to be the longest rally that they've had in the match. Incredible tennis.
And no finer rally have they played in this match so far. Again, when you consider the conditions and what they've played through, the accumulation, and to still hit the balls firmly. 44 shots it took.
And they were just pushing the ball back. That's 44 rifles, bullets. $15.30. Djokovic, look where Djokovic is retrieving here. He's way behind the baseline, a good 5 metres.
And once again, you just can't
get through Djokovic, can
he? Defence from Djokovic is just something at the moment.
30-all, opening game, 4th set.
I just get the feeling that we're seeing from Nadal perhaps what David Ferrer and the Juan Monacos of this world feel like when they're playing against him. They can't win the points. They're just running into the wall, and it gets very deflated for them. It's amazing to see Nadal in this situation with a 2 sets to love, was 2 sets to love and a break lead. The look on his face is like he just can't get through the man up the other end.
Back to a statement that Nadal made just, well, probably 6 months ago. He said, well, I just can't beat Djokovic at the moment. I can't get the job done. But they went and tried to figure out, and then the last couple of matches he has won. But that's got to play on his mind because he knows Djokovic beat him 7 times in a row. Juice.
And you think about the things that have troubled Djokovic in his great run, and it was the terrific serving of Federer and also the variation of Federer with the slice and the ability to move forward or bring Djokovic forward. You just wonder what Rafa can do to change it. Lacks the power on the serve, lacks that variation.
Djokovic.
There's that hyperextension again. We've seen him do that on a few occasions. It's almost like he's getting too much grip with the shoe.
Stood there and just delivered that to the winner, and that's one game to love in the 4th set, and that represents Djokovic. Well, Nadal came into this match and lost his service once in the entire tournament. He's now dropped his last 4 service games.
He's dropped the last 7 games, and he's complaining to the umpire again about the conditions.
The approach shot just not good enough. Down the middle of the court to the backhand.
His mind's got to be a little jumbled right now, Nadal.
Well, what was an effective game now all of a sudden turns into, it's not having any real bearing on the flow of the match. And impressive numbers by Djokovic, that first serve. And set number 3. And some greater awards. Contained the unforced errors as well.
But again, conditions are not dangerous, well, otherwise they wouldn't be playing out there. And all the folks are sitting in the stands, everybody's here. Just because Rafa doesn't want to play, or maybe things are turning around, doesn't mean to say you stop.
It definitely is getting a little slippery. Djokovic has slipped on a couple of occasions. Just have a look here. There it is again. Yep. It's just greasy there. It's been pretty constant, this light drizzle. There's enough moisture in the court now for that to be a problem at times. I never thought I'd see the day where Nadal would just be this completely dominated for a stretch of a match here at Roland-Garros.
Well, it makes you think that he had that lead. He still has a lead, doesn't he?
Djokovic has just taken over 94 points to 93 in the match so far. That's how close it is. But he's down 2 sets to 1.
This, if there's no rain delay and this match has just played out continuously from here, who's
right now, Djokovic, I think he's just changed his game. I think he's gone out there after that losing that set and down a break. He's just decided to go for everything, and Nadal's complaining to his camp now, and Djokovic has just been explosive off the ground. So he's picked it up. I reckon he's hitting the ball a good 20% harder than he was in the first two sets. To love now.
Look at Nadal. He has... Wow, he's got to be careful. Well, that went close to the umpire. He threw the ball, but he's throwing it towards Stefan Franzen, saying, just have a look how heavy this is.
Well, there's a lot going on in his mind for him to react like that.
He's completely rattled.
He's defenseless. Yeah. And we're talking about one of the greatest defensive players.
Swinging away, Djokovic. Unbelievable return there.
Nadal hits with a lot of spin, and he relies on his spin jumping up high on his opponents, getting them up above shoulder height, out of their contact zone. He can't do that anymore. It's just sitting there for Djokovic and saying, hit me. And Novak's obliging.
Now Rafa knows what David Ferrer feels like coming off of that semi-final.
First serve percentages have dropped as well.
To try and extend this match as long as possible. He's not going to hit winners. He's not going to get to finish the points very quickly. He's going to have to try and ask the question of Djokovic's fitness.
An error. They've been few and far between for the last set and a half.
Used to be his go-to serve. Anytime in trouble on that juice court right down the tee. Changed that a while for a couple of years, but every time 3 or 4 years ago, 15-30, 30-15, that's the serve he used. Rain is a little steadier now. Stefan Franzen standing right at the back of the court, 40-15. Nadal. 2 sets to 1. And it's 2 games to 1. Djokovic leads.
Mesdames et messieurs, en raison de la pluie et en raison de l'état du cours, nous devons suspendre le match pour un instant. Merci pour votre compréhension. Prenez place rapidement, s'il vous plaît. Au service, Novak Djokovic.
He's ready to go. Djokovic to serve. 2-1, and he's down 2 sets to 1.
Ready, play.
Good sportsmanship early there. It was a good first serve, called a fault, so they'll replay the point. It's unfortunate for Djokovic, actually, because it went off the line, the serve. Nadal couldn't control it.
So that's the error that we saw in the first 2 sets from Djokovic. And once he got in full flight, all of those shots were landing just inside the line. And that error, it almost comes about because the racket head speed is not quite there. The body's not quite as warm as it needs to be.
Getting up on Djokovic. Not hit with a lot of pace, but the trajectory and the reaction off the court. Djokovic leaning off of it instead of leaning on.
And last night, Rafa could not get one ball up above his shoulder height.
Rafa, a little different. Tried to accelerate through a couple of backhands there, and that forehand as well. Clean the net.
Very important rally, that one for Djokovic. It's 30 all. That last one was up round the shoulders again.
But I don't mind the little slice. Rafa goes in the slice. Now, Novak hit that very cleanly, but it's still a very different ball than the one he just got. And I think Rafa has to think about that a little bit. I know he loves the heavy topspin, obviously, and it is his game, but I think every now and then a slice, a drop shot, just a little bit of variety is going to make a difference, because Novak tends to play the slice a little more cautiously with more spin.
Break point now for 2 all. Patience for that passing shot cross court. Nadal, broken serve, 2 games all.
That was a tough one for Djokovic. Obviously, the ball clipping the net, and you have to make a very quick, fast decision about what type of shot the response. And you know, it's easy to say from our position, but you wonder, should have he just bunted it straight down the middle of the court, provide no angle for Nadal.
Fred said a pretty straightforward pass. I don't know if it was the first game of the match, probably, but given the scoreline, would have been a bit of tension there.
But he had plenty of time. 2 all.
Again, Novak, he doesn't want to flatten it out. He doesn't want to go for it. And he played this really cautiously. So Nadal's controlling the point. There's the slice. Novak, a cautious reply, and then he had to backtrack. He doesn't want to come in behind that. So whilst Rafa, he was almost forced into playing it, I think it's something he's got to think about. I'm not saying Novak's going to miss it, but it could change the complexion of the rally.
Quick move out of the chair from Damien de Moussois, the Frenchman that's in charge of proceedings.
And he has started a fraction slowly. He's not the same player we saw in full flight midway through yesterday's match, Novak Djokovic.
did yesterday on the big points. That's what helped Nadal the first couple of sets yesterday. Well, then Djokovic took over with the serve, as well mentioned earlier. He got it up to about 75% to take charge, but on that big point, good first serve, 40-love. Another love game. That's what Nadal wanted after breaking Djokovic, and Djokovic's first service game. He hits the front. It's 3-2, 2-1.
Nadal mène 3-2.
In that past service game, that's Guy Forget, former Davis Cup captain and a great French player. Nadal in that last service game too, 2 or 3 serves well up over 200.
Serjan and Diana, parents of Novak, sitting next to them is Marian Vida.
And this is what we're talking about. This is just, he's just let rip off forehands, and they're deep and they're jumping off the court.
And he's standing on the baseline, taking time away from Novak.
15-all.
You can see that one was around shoulder height, and if Djokovic hadn't positioned himself inside the baseline with this backhand, that would have been around shoulder height. Took it early, followed it in.
Not by much, this one. (40-15) for Djokovic to stay at 3-all. Wide. Ball good. Nadal, it was good.
Djokovic.
Pretty good sportsmanship there. I thought Nadal thought it was wide, but then he walked up there, walked away from it to get the balls to serve. 3-all.
Merci.
Now I feel like the tension's just lifted a couple of levels. They've gone to 3 games all, and each point
certainly played with a lot of venom.
Yes. From the moment that Nadal has started, he is trying to really win with this forehand. Hitting very, very heavy and predominantly forehands. If he can get around and hit forehands, he will. That is massive, and flattens it out here.
He gets a lot more string on the ball, doesn't he, when he goes off or line with his forehand, just the technique. So he gets the depth. Not always the case when he hits it cross court.
Djokovic was ready to bounce the racket, but figured if he did so, there'd be a big reaction from the crowd. He doesn't need that right now. 40-15.
He got a warning yesterday, didn't he? Can that carry over to the next day? Guess it's the same match.
Shot from Nadal from 5 metres behind the baseline. That was a rifle forehand, so he stays in front in set number 4. It's 4-3.
Very noticeable when Nadal changes ends, throws the towel on the side of where his camp is sitting, but they are all up on their feet.
And there's a few umbrellas going up around the grounds right now, and some rain gear. Spectators putting in the rain gear on. Not a good sign.
Les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
There's your slice, Walt.
It's just a point of difference, isn't it? It's just showing Novak a different bounce, a different trajectory, a different pace. It's a shot that he doesn't normally want to take on. He normally plays it pretty safely.
Gaza.
Tension played from both ends of the court. This one normally might have seen Djokovic take it out of the air. Had to be playing that forehand with caution, and then even the lob by Nadal.
30-15. Stefan Franzen, the referee, Gilbert Izern, who's in charge of everything at the French Federation. Cordial, lightning strikes very quickly in these circumstances.
I think he was just giving the signal that when he was looking up, the raindrops just coming into the eyes of Djokovic.
Merci.
Did a similar thing yesterday in a similar situation in the third set. That is great match play, isn't it? Just out of the blue, doesn't overplay the first serve, doesn't overplay his hand, make sure he makes it. Great element of surprise there from Djokovic. Good presence of mind.
Struggles on serve. Djokovic back comes through and holds. 2 first serves from 30 all. It's 4 all.
How good is that? Rafa's thinking at 30 all. Look, I might have a chance here. I've just got to get the return back. Stings in with a serve volley point. And finds the outside edge of the line with a first serve. Incredible execution under pressure from Djokovic.
Another big first serve. 192. Djokovic couldn't get hold of it.
40-0.
But once again, it was off the slice. Novak got cautious.
40-0.
Well, we spoke of how often when Nadal runs around to hit a forehand when his opponents hit that backhand slice. So if he engages Djokovic to play it first, he figures, I'm going to just hit a forehand afterwards.
40 love.
Planète, premier service.
Another great service
Nadal,
Nadal, and he goes to the lead. He's leading 2 sets to 1. Now 5-4, fourth set.
Has Novak asked the umpire to come out and check the conditions? Would he really want to go off at this stage, having to come back out and stay in this match?
Prends les places rapidement, s'il vous plaît. Les joueurs sont prêts, merci. S'il vous plaît. Merci.
I like the fact that Nadal said, save the balls, get the balls, save the balls. Now you must think that there's still a bit of life in the balls. They're not too heavy as yet.
Is it my imagination, or did everything just seem a lot slower right there?
It was a lot slower, and Djokovic just really took his time, took pace off the shot until the last forehand.
15-0.
But I think also from Rafa, I would have thought that maybe a few of these forehands he might have had a real crack at.
Shower of rain, fortunately, I believe, has gone. The sky is clearer. It's a little brighter down on court at the moment. 15 all. Gutsy play from the serve there in half court. 15 all. Lob into the wind, moving around somewhat. Calmly hits it for winner. 30-15.
I can't believe those last 2 points, the accuracy from Djokovic. So when 99 people out of 100 are starting to get tense, he gets better. Well, that was incredibly brave, that cross-court backhand. He had no target, nothing to work with. Inside of the line. Always hits his way out of trouble.
And unbelievably, the sun has come out, and it's 40-15. Djokovic is still in this match. It's 5 all.
That was an incredibly strong game by Djokovic, and I'm just wondering whether that was just a turning point right there. Maybe 4 points away by Rafa, but never got a chance to really go for anything apart from the first point. Hesitated, and I'm wondering whether that hesitation now transfers into this game.
I agree with you. When you see Djokovic do that, you think, well, has Rafa got enough free points in him to get home?
Better point just there. Still going for that first serve.
That's high risk, isn't it? Look at that.
Yep. This one is well struck.
And that's what I'm alluding to. 3 points, 201, right in the corner down the tee. That's the thing that has given Djokovic fits when he's played Roger Federer, is Federer's ability to get 3 points and not have to contest all the rallies.
Got Uncle Tony out of his seat in a hurry. 30 love.
He's hit the line again, I swear. He's sitting on that line.
Well, he's saying you can't contest it now, you're going to stop play. It's an interesting call.
I didn't run for the next one. You are coming back in the middle of the court. I cannot stop that one. I was watching the ball. Yeah, you are watching the ball. You are still coming back.
I tend to agree a little with Rafa here, because he did not chase. He was looking for the mark the whole time.
I actually don't have a problem with that call from the umpire because he was looking at the mark, but he moved. He continued to move. See there, he's moving back to the centre of the court. Oh, no, this is the actual shot.
He didn't show us. That's a pity because he did focus on. Again, it's a split-second decision that you make.
Yeah, but this has been played in a pretty darn sporting spirit. They've both rubbed out marks in the 3 or 4 games they've been out there. That's a bit dodgy.
He's in the groove again.
And Nadal's having a pretty good look at Djokovic after that point.
Djokovic is just hitting lines again. Have a look at this return. How good is that? So unless you get the ball away from his racket, you're in trouble right now.
Does he have the impetus to go for the serves? Keep this incredible display, Rafa.
Didn't hold back on the forehand, Nadal. He's just got to come out of his shoes. He's almost got to finish this 4th set.
And hope that the tension, maybe piles up onto Djokovic's end of the court. He was able to put a stop to it on the previous game. And Nadal stood 4 points from the match.
Nadal as he gets to 6 first. He leads 6-5, 2 sets to 1.
We don't always see Rafa come to net unless he's assured of winning the point with the first volley. And that was a gutsy play. Charging forward after the forehand.
It really was, wasn't it? Because Novak, he had a pretty good swing at that pass, and it was a tense situation. But I think it sort of highlights, this is what Rafa has to do. Anything that he has got in his bag, he's got to throw it at Djokovic right now. Anything he has got. Might get lucky, they might go in, they might not. So I'm just not sure any sort of cautious rally is going to get the job done. Not sure what Novak is nibbling there, but I've got to get some.
I think it's just one of those health bars. He seems to break them up, and they're one of those energy bar. We have pretty much a different crowd with us today. They're rather noisy. I know we've got a lot of tennis experience, but they're enjoying this final.
Merci. Merci beaucoup, les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
Well, the French feels if they've come out to watch this, they want to see 5 sets.
So at this stage, you know, common thought is that the first point certainly lays the foundation. He didn't go Rafa's way, but he's been able to just level, equalise it at 15-all. A little more tension enters the court right now. Backhands from Nadal, never got past the service line.
And actually, not even with much venom, they just rolled into the service box. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But that's a recipe for disaster, that sort of tennis.
30-15.
Difference from the previous point. There was a real investment in the return from Rafa off the second serve.
Uncle Tony's out of his seat. And so is Rafa's dad. He's sitting down. His mate's up having a bit of a cheer for 2 points away now, 30-all.
So similar situation when he was serving here last time. Djokovic served and volleyed out wide to the backhand. Does Rafa hang on that? A little bit of chess to be played right here.
Les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
Deep enough, and it is match point for the Spaniard.
Well, how was the return? A huge first serve by Djokovic down the tee that just chipped it back, got himself back into the point, and the rest of the rally was forehands.
Yeah. And we were surmising, does he go wide? Does he cover the wide serve? And interesting point right there.
S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
Rafael Nadal has achieved French Open history. 7 titles, which bests the great Bjorn Borg 6. An unfortunate finish though, boys. Something very unexpected.
Well, Freddie hit it. It was close to 150 k's that second serve, and he rolled the dice. Novak rolled the dice, and that is what has won him so many events in the last 16 months. He rolled the dice, and it finally caught up with him. It was just long, but it's hard to be critical of that mentality, and I think Rafa is a little bit stunned that he's gotten away with this because he was under the pump.
He's climbing his way up there to greet his parents, his girlfriend, Uncle Tony, the whole crew.
Well, when he won the match, they have been celebrating ever since, jumping up on top of each other, and I think the reaction by Uncle Tony there, that's his mum, sister, but they knew they were in deep trouble if this match was forced to play out last night, and I think it's an absolute relief that he got a second chance today.
But in no way do I think anyone could criticise Novak for going for that second serve. I mean, it's unfortunate that it ended without the drama of a big point, for example, but...
No, I wasn't criticising him going for it. I just think it's bad luck that a situation like this. You never want to see a match with all this riding on it finish the way it did, and he's got to be bitterly disappointed because, as Mark said right before, well, as the tournament started, he shaped his entire schedule. He's only played 3 tournaments coming into this French Open, wanting to win the Novak Slam, and he came very close to it. In my opinion, had they finished under the conditions they played yesterday, he would have won the Novak Slam. And Rafa's going to win another French, doesn't matter whether it's this year, next year, or in a couple of years, I think. So he'd have got to 7, but it's unfortunate that that finished there. But Nadal came out today and took it to him.
Got the better start, didn't he? The first 15 or 20 minutes, he got that kind of jump on him, and then Novak was level pegging, and it came down to that great tension, obviously, and we saw the double fault that ensued, but you could feel it up here in the commentary booth, couldn't you? There's not much splitting these two, and of course, Fred, you said Rafa would have gone on to win his 7th. Well, I think the good news for Novak is, after what we've seen here today at the French Open, he's going to win one very, very soon.
He's right in his year, hasn't he? A lot of questioning going on about Djokovic. That's that double fault. But, you know, it's hard to emulate what he was going through 12 months ago. I mean, that was just a magnificent year. But he's understood that to really focus on the majors, that's where his career is going to be made. And they did focus on the French Open. It hasn't paid off, but I think, wow, wait till we get to Wimbledon and the US Open.
But don't you think the scenes in Rafa's corner, jumping around like, well, like they've won the French Open, don't you think that's just, it sort of shows how much they felt under pressure themselves. They could sense that their man was not necessarily in control. It was almost like he's pinched that set.
But he did pinch it. I mean, that was impressive serving today from Nadal, and the fact that he knew he had to use that forehand. Well,
how about halfway through that game, in the mid stages of that game at 15 all, he hit those 4 backhands that were very tentative backhands, as we alluded. They never got past the service line. Djokovic still had to go after them, and he did. Unfortunately, he went after the second serve and missed it.
Well, Rafa today, he went after the first serve and he went after his forehand eventually. That's what won him the first 2 sets, particularly at the end of those sets, the closing stages. And it's certainly what got him over the line here today, and it's got to be the way forward for him really on any surface for the rest of his career, because the game keeps moving on, the game keeps getting better, and he's going to have to move with it. But how good is men's tennis right now? Like, really, the quality of these top players, and then you throw in the likes of Murray, Tsonga, and of course Berdych and Del Potro on a given day. It's pretty good.
And the fact that Djokovic came up, saved match points on the way through against Tsonga. You've got to put some of the French boys in there as far as entertainment's concerned here, particularly in Paris. They seem to play their best tennis here, but a few of the photographers there just taking some shots of Novak Djokovic, and you've got a feel for him. Sitting there, you're the runner-up. To the winner goes the spoils, and there's Rafa's dad, who sits apart from the rest of the crowd. Sit up with Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony does his job there, and as we mentioned, has been with Rafa since the tender young age of 4.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des trophées du simple messieurs des internationaux de France 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the prize-giving ceremony for the men's single of the 2012 French Open. Les trophées seront remis par le président de la Fédération française de tennis et par Matt Wilander, triple vainqueur en 1982, 85 et 88. The trophy will be presented by the president of the French Tennis Federation and by Matt Wilander, 3-time winner here in 1982, 85 and 88. Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, messieurs Jean Gachassin et Matt Wilander. L'arbitre de cette finale, the chair umpire of this final, Monsieur Damien Dumusois. Finaliste des Internationaux de France 2012, runner-up of the 2012 French Open, Novak Djokovic. Mesdames et messieurs, il remporte aujourd'hui son 7e titre des Internationaux de France. Ladies and gentlemen, today he has won his 7th French Open title, Rafael Nadal. Mesdames et messieurs, l'hymne national espagnol. Ladies and gentlemen, the Spanish national anthem.